All right, so now we're going to look at the masters and how I use those in the course. And you can look at the PowerPoint file and break that apart. But basically what you want to do is you want to build out your slides, look at them, and then figure out what's persistent across a number of slides, and then how can we change that. So let's look at a couple of areas. One is we know we've got our office scene. And so if we look at the overall slides, there's 33 slides and 17 of them have the office on there. So I don't need to put that office on 17 slides. All I need to do is get the office on the master slide. And the same thing on this office slide, some of them have information, like some of them are set up at the beginning stage, so where I'm clicking on these characters and trying to collect information. So they're going to have one type of information, and then some of them are going to have these feedback boxes. So for example, here's one where I collect information. I click on an office, and then I'm going to get feedback. So what I did here is I created a layout that has just the feedback box, and then I'm going to change the content specific to the feedback. So you can see that here. So here's that particular, this is the referral info. So when I click on an office and want to know what information that gives me, then I get this referral box, and all I have to do is change it for that slide. Let's take a look and see how that works. So the idea is I click on these green dots, and the green dots take me to a slide that gives me information about that group. So if I wanted to put a new group in there, all I'd really have to do is I can create a new slide, put that in here. Now I've got my new slide, and then I just put my information, and I can create a hyperlink to that slide. And then I use the continue button here, which is just on the master, and I just put a hyperlink here that would take me back to wherever I want to go. So that's how we would use the masters. Let me delete that so I don't mess up my presentation here. And the same thing with the questions. So when we go to the questions, I've got a question structure for each character. So if we look at the layouts, I've got a master layout for John and a master layout for Sarah. And then all I have to do is I've got this is all on the master, and then I've got a hyperlink that goes to an answer for each question. So I can click on here, that's going to hyperlink to this slide, which is going to show me that it's marked because it's depressed, and it's going to give me feedback. So I can click on here, and then it just goes through that. So when we look at it, I've got feedback for each question. So let's look at the masters to see how that's made up. So I would just I create my persistent data, which is this office, the staged area, and then when I go into my actual slides, I would put the characters in here that I need to click on. And then you can see I've got different types of layouts. So for example, I've got my main layout that doesn't have anything, and then I have my layout here that let's delete this so you can see what it looks like. So you can see just a few things are changed on here. So I have my main layout, and then I've got different things. So there's my progress meter, and that's really the only thing that changes on this slide. And I've got a 10%, a 30%, and then I've got the office with different content on there based on what I need. And the interviews are structured, it's kind of neat. So I've got an interview slide. So if I added a new character, all I really have to do is duplicate this layout, and let's say I'm gonna color this box black here so we can change it up, or we'll add a reflection so we know we've changed it. And let's go ahead and we'll make this a different color just so we can see that's a different color here. We'll do this. Let's go ahead and we'll just do that here. So we've got these here. Now if I come into this and I want to create a new character, it's just a matter of saying, okay, I want a new character. I've got 6 questions, so I'm going to have a main slide and then 6 for one for each question. So I just come in a new slide. I've got my new character box here. Then I can duplicate this 6 times and just hitting Control D, and then all I'd have to do is set hyperlinks to these different slides and then modify the content based on the slide you select. So using masters and considering the persistent data and then building as much as you can on the masters is a key strategy. Go ahead and go through the PowerPoint file that you get and play around with it, and you'll see how that's designed.